It is all of our privacy because look at me. I'm not a content creator. I'm a lawyer, guys. I literally tweet. I tweeted about a case that I'm interested in.
Hi and welcome to Blossom Talk. I'm Sashti Flo, and on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood working as an entertainment reporter, and as you know, a lot about the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni legal drama. Today I have a very special guest with me. She's going to be on camera, but she wants to stay anonymous. She's one of the 20 new people who have been subpoenaed by Blake Lively. So, if you watched my episode on Friday, I did talk about these 20 new people that have been subpoenaed on X this time. These are not YouTubers, some of them might be on YouTube as well. And this person who has been commenting on this legal feud since January happens to be an attorney. So they subpoenaed an attorney as well. I mean, this is so crazy, you guys. And some of the details that she's going to share with you about this subpoena will just blow your mind. Hi, and welcome to Blossom Talk. This is Spiritual Shift. We're not going to reveal her real name because that's what Blake Lively wants. And so that's not what we're going to do here. So you have just been subpoenaed as well. And your case is even more interesting, I think. And I definitely think that Blake Lively does not know that you're an attorney. And this makes sense. So this is so exciting. So tell us what happened and what you work every day as an attorney.
Yeah, so I am an immigration attorney. I've been licensed since 2015. I have a background with psychology and criminal justice. So yeah, so I've been following this case, and I'm not gonna lie, pretty shocked when I got that email. And just to confirm before I say anything else, I did email Ezra Hudson, and she hasn't replied to me yet because I did want to confirm, just double
Shocker.
check. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? I did email her waiting for a confirmation email, but I did receive an email from Axe, which attached with a subpoena. And yeah, so it was, I actually am surprised that she subpoenaed me because I think I'm the only attorney from the batch, because we were having a discussion because there are some content creators that are attorneys that are also covering this case and are, critical of Blake at times, right? So it was a bit of a surprise. However, if they did their homework, if you look in my bio, it does say that I'm a lawyer. And if they did their homework, and if there were people kind of keeping an eye on my post, I've mentioned I'm a lawyer. And I go over some of these legal documents. So it's a possibility that they know, and or maybe they don't, because they're at this point, they're just subpoenaing so many people at this point that maybe they don't. It's just like whoever says something negative about Blake is now a target. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy. So you opened your mailbox. You didn't know that she had already started this campaign against X users, because we as YouTubers got them before you. I guess you were supposed to get them as well on July 3rd. I feel like they did that
Mm.
just to like make sure that we would have a miserable 4th of July, because that would be up their alley.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She does have like a tendency to do that during the
Y-
holidays and stuff.
Yeah. But so you
Yeah.
noticed this last night or on Friday night in your inbox, or Thursday night, sorry?
Yeah, so we're here in the States. So that would be Thursday, I think it was the 17th. It was sometime in the afternoon, I believe, and think I received the email like at 2 in the morning, but I only checked it like, later on in the day. And I was surprised, but the first thing I said was like, "Oh my God." Because I knew everything. I was like, "No, no." And then I was like, "No, it can't be real." Because I'm like, "This is X. This is not the Google, the YouTube one." So I was like, "This can't be real." But then, you know what, Kirsty? Like, I noticed when I was reading, I was like, "Darn it, this one is actually more professional looking, in my humble opinion, than the one that Google and YouTube sent." I just thought that was a little ridiculous. It looked not real to me. the ones
Yeah,
that you
the
guys
email
would email.
itself.
It
Yeah.
was very questionable looking. Like, it was just not that bad. It was done nicely, but I just thought it was interesting that they didn't include your name or username in the email. They just had some like number. Whereas in mine, they actually had my user handler. They attached it. So it looked like, oh, maybe this is legit. Initially, I was a little nervous because, I just skimmed through the subpoena document. I haven't read it really carefully yet. I haven't had time. But when I did, as you know, they had mailed it out on July 3rd, and the subpoena was supposed to be submitted by July 16th. And I received it on July 17th. So I was like, oh,
Amazing.
right. Right? So I was like, but when I read the email, I actually think X might have handled this better than Google and YouTube did. Because what they said was that we did not submit any information. So then it makes sense that they never submitted anything to them. Therefore, right? What am I responding to? If they didn't send them anything, then there really isn't anything for me at this point to respond, because the subpoena is to X technically, right? Not to me. So in the email, they said, however, in the future, because they might make future attempts or try again, or I don't know what the next process Blake's legal team has, then they said that we might be giving them or we will be giving them just your account information, which not too, I don't know what that means,
Like,
you know, I don't know, but it doesn't sound like it's personal information. You know what I mean? Like the bank accounts, or
yeah.
maybe it is. I don't know what they mean by account information. So what I will do after our after today is I will contact Google, I'm sorry, X, and I will try to get a hold of their legal department and their help to kind of verify also on their end too that it's a legit email, the subpoena and everything. What's the status? Did they send them anything to Blake's side, or did they just not respond at all, to them?
Because
I
I
doubt
did
that though.
notice in that, because I saw when you posted it on X,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
I read your initial email, and it did say that we may in the future
Yeah.
release data. But how did the subpoena look like? Because ours looked like it was faxed back and forth from 1995 like 100 times, so it was almost impossible to read it.
Oh my
Was yours
God.
the same way?
Yeah, I got some tea for that. Like, oh, speaking of tea, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like, let's just there's a couple of things I want to say about this, the one that I got. First of all, yes, very difficult to read, but it was so interesting because there was 20 people. Like, it was like a request for production and information, and there was 20 people listed from the X account. And the first thing that popped in my, like, I noticed when I was skimming through it, I don't even recognize any of these people. And I'm
Also, they
part of,
actually named the other ones in your subpoena.
yes, and they
They
didn't
didn't do
redact
that with
it.
us because they redacted them in ours. Yeah, so I couldn't see who else was subpoenaed. Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. And they didn't care about that. Maybe that was Google then who actually redacted the
I was
names, and
thinking about,
X
yeah,
didn't do that.
mhm. Did you get I wanted to ask you this. Did you get your subpoena through a copy from Blake, or did you get it from Google?
No, so what happened with us was that I received an email first, and then I didn't respond because
Mhm.
everyone was like, "Is this a scam?" And I started talking to others, and we were like, we kind of agreed that it must be a scam until we got
Yeah.
a confirmation from their office, which took days because they lied about it and said it was a scam at first.
Did they
But
say that to you, or did they say that only to Andy?
they said it only to Andy. But
Okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. No, they told him that it was fake. But then we had to respond to the email to actually receive the subpoena. And a lot of us didn't respond to it because we were like,
Hmm.
this could be a scam, this could be a phishing thing or whatever. So we didn't
Yeah.
want to respond to it. But then when I did receive that subpoena. But did you get the subpoena in the original email? Was it
I
attachment?
did. I
Uh,
did. That's why I'm saying I think X actually handled this better than I think the way Google handled it was so bad, in my humble opinion. I actually am worried. Like, this is not, guys, like, this is not just about content creators. This is about our privacy. Anybody who has a Google or X or social media account, It is all of our privacy because look at me. I'm not some a content creator. I'm a lawyer, guys. I literally tweet. I tweeted about a case that I'm interested in. Yes, I extensively covered it, like, from like around, I would say January to, till now. But the funny thing is, even me, ever since Judge Lyman had that order where he dismissed Justin's case, I've just been so burnt out and sad. I'm like Friedman. I'm just like kind of like
I know.
I
I
just
think we all
disappeared a little
felt
bit.
like
Like,
that. Yes, I was so sad that day. I took it personally. I don't know. I think a lot of us
yeah.
did because we were like, yeah, no, it's devastating to see
Yeah.
this kind of injustice. But anyways, have you spoken to anyone else on Twitter, or did you know any of the others, or you didn't know any of them?
So yeah, let's get back to the subpoena, right? So first thing I noticed was I know the community a little bit of the pro Justin, like I say pro Justin community, but we're actually the pro truth community, guys.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
So we are the pro truth community, and which happens to be that, we feel that Justin has a strong case here. So our community, we kind of know each other, like, you know what I mean? I don't know everybody, but we're not like besties or anything, but we kind of know of each other and stuff like
Same with
that.
us on YouTube. Yeah, totally.
Exactly. So the first thing I noticed, I'm like, who are these people? And then so Leanne, right? You've met with her, and I'm sure you guys know as well too. She creates some really good content on X regarding going over the legal filings and stuff, and kind of just summarizing them. And she was the only other person that I recognized. And I can say this because she posted it too, because I messaged her saying that, hey, I think this is you, but they didn't even like spell her username right. Like it's miss
Oh my gosh.
it's missing it. They didn't even say, and that explains probably why she didn't get it, like the email. But then also hers was like I couldn't read it. Like it was I could just read like the first four letters or something like that, and like in the middle of it, it was just like I was like, is this even her? Is this Leanne or is this not Leanne? But I think it's Leanne because even when I sent it to her, she said the same thing. And she emailed Ezra Hudson, and she's waiting for a reply regarding that. So that's the first thing that I wanted to share, that it's not Zach, it's not like Donna, it's not like, it's not Dave Neal, it's not like, the other content creators that are also on X and other platforms as well. So I thought that was strange. And then secondly, I noticed that they barely had any followers, and they didn't even cover Blake. Like when because I skimmed through I skimmed through them, obviously. So I'm like, then I started getting scared. I'm like, what is going on? Is this even real now? Like, why are these accounts, with hardly any followers, being like, in the subpoena? There were a couple that had like, a couple of thousand, maybe the most had like 14,000 or something, like 14K or something like that. But overall, the accounts were very low in following, and they were not even covering, at least from what I saw from the recent post, covering Blake. So I was like, and I have a theory about this: astroturfing.
Mm.
Astroturfing. They probably think these accounts are astroturfing. That's what my guess is. Just a guess. I'm not giving any legal advice, but that's my guess. And I'm not following them. They're not following me. So it's not like these accounts are following me. Now, if they're liking my post or commenting on it, I can't even remember, but like, I don't know if they're like liking it, but I'm not following them. They're not following me. And some of these accounts are already suspended. Some of these accounts don't, like, a couple of them don't even exist anymore. So really, the only one that stood out to me was me, and then Leanne, but Leanne's was not even spelled correctly. So that is
S-
yeah.
Are they trying
I'm
to find bots? Do you think that's what they're doing here?
I'm wondering if they think like I'm your astroturf, like, you're the bigger creator, like maybe you and all the, Zach and like maybe are like the bigger creators, and we are your bots. Like, maybe that's what they think. But how could they think I'm a bot? Like it would be crazy. I don't think they think Leanne and I are bots. I think they think maybe there's more to it because me and Leanne's we post regularly about it, and it's very like thoughtful. Like like we're like reading, like, reviewing documents and stuff like that. Leanne is, and I do a little bit of both. Sometimes I'll cover some of the legal stuff that's happening. Sometimes it's just like the news related to that particular, celebrity, and digging back into like Ryan and Blake, stuff like that. And one of the first posts that I did got that went viral in January was like the one with 9 million I think views or something. It's the one where I was basically saying to everybody like, oh, look at the similarities between like Nice Pool and Justin Baldoni. So that went like viral instantly. So I'm wondering if that is why either they think that those are bots or astroturfing the other content creators, but it just didn't make sense to me because I'm like, these are not, and I don't even think they were verified. Like, how, because like you would imagine that her claim would be that these are verified accounts, right? And they're getting paid.
Yeah,
So in
because
this
I mean
situation,
that's what they're saying to us. Because sorry to interrupt you,
yeah.
but that's what they were telling our lawyers that they want. Because my lawyer's like, what do you actually want? And he said, and they said, or she said, Ezra said, oh, it wasn't talking to Ezra, some other partner, but she
Mm.
said that they are looking for evidence that we were paid by the Wayfair parties. So that is their main goal of subpoenaing us. But maybe there is enough because no one gets paid on Twitter. I mean, we get paid by AdSense and advertisement
Mm.
on our videos,
Yeah.
but on Twitter, you don't get paid for just posting something, anyways. But
I
yeah,
think you do. I think I haven't reached that level yet, so I don't know. But I think if you reach, I think there might be some ad revenue thing going on now with X, where if you have, I believe it's 500 verified subscribers, not just 500 people who are following you, but those with the blue check mark. So if you have 500 and you have like 3 million like impressions within maybe 3 months, I think there's like a little bit of a criteria, then you qualify for maybe some sort of a monetization. But I'm not like privy to that since I haven't reached that, and nor was I focused really on that. So I know there's something there, but it's like you said, I agree with you. I don't think that's why they've subpoenaed us. Like even the astrology, was it Ashley? What was her name?
well, there's two different ones. So Ashley, she is a PR and marketing
Oh,
specialist.
I love her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She's
and
awesome.
then there's Janessa, who is an
Janessa.
astrologer who had like 250 subscribers when they started, and now she has like 6,000, which is
Yay,
which
go
I
her.
love. I think what they're doing here is bringing people together, and now like we're cross promoting each other, so it's just gonna make more people follow content creators that are actually following this. And
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard anyone say that this is a good idea at this point. Have you? I mean, what are people saying on X? Because I'm not very active on X. What is the big narrative on
So,
X?
yeah. So when so I was like the OG, like Justin Baldoni supporter, even before he like, dropped his amendment or his complaint and his receipts. Since I'm a lawyer, I can really like, I can read the BS through the BS because one thing, I don't like saying this, but it's true, that language can easily be manipulated and you can really make something into something that it's not, depending on how you word it. And when you're a lawyer, you're kind of, you can sense that radar BS. If she really had certain things happen to her, she wouldn't wiggle and squirm her way around it, because she's probably afraid. I can't outright say this because then they're going to be like, oh, you're not inconsistent, you're lying during after her discovery, and when she's going to do deposition in her testimony, right? So I think her lawyers are very, very clever, smart, but in my humble opinion, I don't think they're that great. And I'll tell
No.
you why. Because I feel like there's two types of lawyers, and it's almost like a generational thing in my opinion, but it does. I That's what I've dealt with most in my life. They're like the lawyers that are like, oh, justice, I'm gonna follow the law and I'm gonna have justice for my clients, and we're gonna do it in a very respectful and ethical way. And then there's those lawyers that think they're gonna cheat the system or be a little manipulative and just be right within the legal bounds and kind of give lawyers a bad name. And I think that Van Sham lawsuit, for example, is in that category. And I've lost my respect for their legal team because of that. And yeah, so that's just my opinion on that. And oh yeah, so back to the subpoena, right? So so they're not following me back. Let's see. So some of the accounts were suspended. Oh yeah, so my theory then would be that they think we are the astroturfers. Like we are the ones who Justin's team paid us to create this fake support for Justin. And that's absolutely not true for me. So like I said, like what drew me to this case is that not a lot of people knew Justin Baldoni, but I a little bit did know about him, and I knew a little bit about Ryan Reynolds. I didn't really watch all Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds or Justin's stuff, like their Hollywood stuff. But I remember I had like a moment where I was going through a spiritual journey, and I remember this is like back before the lawsuit even happened, like years back, where so Justin, he's an actor, but he also does spiritual stuff. So he had this Baha'i faith kind of a online thing where you would go online. I think it was around after 2021, 2022, maybe around that time, where he asked the audience to come and join him. And I remember there was like a meeting and I was there, and that's how I kind of started noticing him. And I had nothing but a good experience with him. He was so humble. He was so nice. He wasn't, how like you're in a meeting and somebody just like takes over. He was listening. He was being respectful. And yeah, it was just kind of that. And I was like, wow, this is a good person. So because I knew a little bit about him and I knew a little bit about Blake and Ryan, I kind of was interested in the case, and I was immediately able to see the nice pool connection thing too, because I was like, oh, they're mocking him. You know what I mean? So that happened. And yeah. So and yeah, so I'm just a normal person. I'm just a normal person. And that's all I can say. And yeah, like I
What are you
think
going to do now? Can I ask you, what is your game plan now? What are you going to do? You reached out to Ezra and asked
yeah.
for like, hey, what do you want from me? And then, I mean, you can represent yourself, I guess, since you are an attorney, or are you going to get any legal help, or how have you even
Yeah,
thought about this?
I little bit. It all kind of depends on what X tells me. And I might attempt to just do a motion to squash myself, and if anything happens, if they file anything again, and first I have to check the status to see what it is the status. Is it a valid subpoena? Is it a valid email? Okay, it is. All right, so what did you submit anything X to them? And then contact Ezra. Are you planning on taking any more action and whatnot? Figure that out, and then decipher how complicated this is, because this is a complex case. It's not like something that I recommend. I recommend, if people can, to try to get an attorney that's experienced in that area, because it's like a federal case, and there's subpoena, and it's a different state, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces, and you just want to make sure you're doing everything correctly. So at this stage, I don't want to say too much, not because I don't want to share with the audience, because I feel like there's a Blake troll that's listening on their side,
Always,
and I
always, yeah.
and I don't want to give them too much, like anticipation or know like what's happening. But for now, I think that it's fair to say that yes, I am a lawyer. So they didn't really necessarily mess with the right person. But at the same time, if I feel like it's now above my pay grade, or it's never good to be emotionally involved with something that's also legally you're involved and you're feeling emotionally invested. Sometimes for your mental health, you just want to give that to somebody else, to kind of worry about and care about. But for now, I think I think I'm good in exploring my options.
So, how did you feel, or how do you feel now, like personally about this? Because for me, it's been like, it was a couple of days where I felt like I had this like, ugh, really awful feeling in my stomach because it feels like someone is really invading your personal space. And also the fact that I don't trust these lawyers because they've been lying so much and they've been leaking information, and I don't trust them with my information. I mean, I wouldn't have mind, showing them, here's my bank statement. I never got paid, but I don't trust them to keep anything on attorney's eyes only because I've seen what they've done to several people. I've seen people's email addresses, I've seen their home addresses, I've seen their phone numbers, and the fact that they
Yeah.
can do this to us. So
Yeah.
how does that make you feel?
Really, really upset and generally concerned about what the future is for all of us. Because it's starting to feel like there's this difference. Like before, like we all used to admire and love celebrities, but we never like it was not like this thing where it's starting to become like, oh wow, you're like an elitist and you have more power than me. I never felt that vibe in the past. But now it just feels like money is such a tool. Like it's like almost like you need money for proper legal representation. So people who don't have money, and that's a problem that I even notice as an attorney. And that's why I didn't like civil litigation because I felt like it was so screwed up. And the reason I say that is, and not to scare anybody, not to worry you or anything like that, but when I did work for a national litigation firm, civil litigation firm, they have like when people have a lot of money, they can do so much. Private investigators, when you're talking about bank statements and you're talking about somebody as wild and crazy like Ryan and Blake, they are, in my opinion, they are capable of crazy things. What's happening right now is
Yeah.
crazy,
Yeah.
you know? So, for example, like there's just a lot you can do. Like I remember when we were working in these like, civil litigation firms, they had there were I was working for insurance company, but they had so much money. Like money was never an issue. They were willing to spend more on winning than how much money it took. Like we would have mock trials and everything and pay so much money to see like how the jury would be like, or have a fake mock trial, spend lots of money, hire a private investigator, software. I remember my job was to basically stalk all of their social media accounts. And there were softwares to do that. They knew everything. They had access to like judges, their rulings and everything. So they come in really prepared. With immigration, the kind of law that I do, it's thank goodness it's not as adversarial. I mean, not I take that back. Not in California. You go to a different state, like maybe Texas, it's a different story. They're not very immigration friendly. But here in California, it's just not as adversarial. The rules are more relaxed. The rule of evidence is more relaxed. It's not that you're looking at the discovery right now, how strict it is, how, just how long it is. It's not like that in the kind of work that I do. But yeah, it's just it's concerning. I don't feel comfortable that Blake and Ryan have my name. I don't feel comfortable they have my phone number, my address. I don't feel comfortable that they have my bank account because with people like them, you just don't know,
Yeah.
and that's the truth. That's the truth.
I feel like right now she knows that, she's at her, like, what do you call it? The final straw. She's at the end of a rope, and she just wants to punish people. I think that's what she's doing now. Like that's part of this, is just punishing people who talk badly about her, and to frighten others to not do it as well. This is like a scare tactic. But I feel, especially with me, she has like definitely beef
Oh
with me after I,
yeah.
after
I
I,
know. I'm scared too
but
sometimes. I feel like I need to protect you. We all need to protect you
oh, you're so
because you're
sweet.
so sweet. No, you are. Seriously, you're such a like light and a gem. And it's just
Thank
I
you.
find it so interesting that the paths aligned. Because I think of her and I'm not trying to like, I'm just being honest. she's not the sweetest, nicest light. No one's gonna be like, oh, Blake's such a light. She's such a delight. She has some darkness. She has some demons. She has a shadow side that she really needs to work through. And I think she hurt people. And
Mm.
I don't know if she's a narcissist like everybody says that she is, but she definitely has the attributes. And people who are with that kind of attribute, narcissist or not, when they are hurt, they like hurting others, And with her, I think personally, she didn't anticipate how social media has transformed media. I think they thought they had it in the bag.
Mm.
Why? Mainstream media. They're even now, if you think
Yeah.
about it,
Oh.
they're still kind of pro Blake. They're pro
Yeah,
Blake and
totally.
yeah.
Except Daily Mail and
Yeah,
Radar Online,
that's
New York Post. The rest, they're
right.
in their pockets.
Right. So with that, I think she was like, I got it all set up. I'm going to do this hit piece. It's going to shatter him. His entire character is going to be done. His career is going to be done because that's exactly who he was. Everything who he was, she's trying to break.
Mm.
Right. So she thought, I got the narrative control in the bag. Right. She just did not anticipate the power of social media, the power of everybody. Like and anybody that's watching your videos, they're helping, they're commenting, they're helping. It's a movement. I
Yeah.
really feel strongly that this is a people's movement. We're sick of the injustice, we're tired of it, and I think the people are just like, that's it, we can't have that. So I definitely think that when it comes to Blake, she knew she had the mainstream, but she didn't anticipate us. And to be honest, I do think this is just a way to silence us. And it also shows that her case is not really strong. Because if she, let's say the Jed Wallace thing was strong, right? That would have been enough, which this case got dismissed too, but he can amend it. But, the judge just dismissed
Yeah.
Jed
Yeah.
Wallace's case. Maybe she wouldn't have gone after us. But the reality is, she knows she even said it like it's untraceable, right? Well, it's untraceable because it's in your
Yeah.
imagination.
Yeah, because it doesn't exist.
It
Oh
doesn't,
my
honey.
gosh.
And yeah, so I think she's just throwing, like, there's no, like, how could she even, like, there's no text message, like, at least with Jed there was that text message where she was like, oh, we're gonna go after Jed. Why are you going after us?
Yeah.
What connection do, it's like literally willy-nilly, you're just throwing darts everywhere hoping something will stick, just because we're tweeting and we're talking about, and we don't like you, Blake.
Yeah.
We don't like
Yeah.
you. We don't believe
Yeah.
you. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here on my
Yeah.
channel. Yeah, I usually say people's names, but now I'm going to call you the X Factor.
I love it.
So people can go and follow you on the Spiritual Shift on X. Are you on YouTube at all?
I am so on, but I haven't posted any like Blake or Ryan content on there. But
Now
if you
you
guys
have
do want
to.
to follow me, yeah, yeah. So you guys could follow me on YouTube. It's The Spiritual Shift. And then on X, it's at spiritual shift underscore. So not the is not there in the X account. So
I'll
it's
leave
just,
links below in the description so people can just click on them and follow you
thank you.
and share some love with you. I'm so sorry this happened to you as well. But the good thing is that it's bringing
Yes.
us all together,
Yeah.
and it's going to make it even worse for Blake Lively, I'm sure. Oh,
I,
thank you
I
so much again
yeah.
for doing this, and good luck. We need to keep in touch so I hear what's going on over at X, and I'll keep you in the loop here as well. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, this is so crazy, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will leave the links to her Twitter and YouTube below so you can follow her and show her some support as well. I was really shocked by the things that she told me. This is so insane. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Blossom Talk. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.